The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Well, good day, everybody. This is Chris Atchison at Georgia State University. I hope you can all hear me well. Let me direct your attention to the chat box. If you have any questions or if you have any problems or any technical difficulties, feel free to put anything in that chat box. We are monitoring that, and we will address your needs or your questions throughout this broadcast. If you do have questions specific to the slides that we're dealing with, feel free to throw those in there. If there are questions specific to the topic at hand, we'll try to address those right away. Otherwise, we'll try to get to the questions at the end. We should be able to wrap this up probably in about 45 minutes, so you can get back to enjoying your day. But anyway, I would like to welcome you all. Thank you for coming out. This session is being recorded, so that you can revisit this or you can share this with anybody you would like to share it with. I will post it on the IAGD website after the meeting today. So let me again welcome you to our second annual general virtual meeting. It's amazing how quickly a year goes. The busier the year, the more quickly it goes, I guess. I want to first give special thanks to Heather Holton at the American Geosciences Institute for hosting the meeting today. Heather will be monitoring that chat window, like I said, so if you have any questions or any concerns or any issues at all, feel free to put those in there, and we will address those. So today we're going to discuss the many different things that you see here. It's going to be a lot of a review from our general meeting at GSA in Denver with a few new updates. The introductory remarks, which we have now. We've got several members from the executive committee on with us today. You'll hear from Brett Gilley with membership updates. We'll talk about our communication plan, discuss briefly the updates for the IAGD Foundation, talk about student community, collaboration opportunities, and various announcements. Let me first say that we are celebrating 5 years this year. In November of 2008, we started as a small national advisory of a few people that were interested in going after the promotion of accessibility and inclusion in the geosciences. Over the past 5 years, it's really taken off. We now have a very strong network, international network, and you can see here the logos that we've developed along the way. So last year, December 14th, was our first virtual meeting. Since that time, we've gone from an advisory to an association. We've approved constitution and bylaws, membership approved constitution and bylaws, which also at the same time approved the name change to association. We've elected an executive committee, and by we, I mean membership, obviously. At the time of the elections this past January, we had an 8-member executive committee. Since that time, we've added 2 more executive counselors that were put into office at the GSA meeting in Denver. Brett's going to talk about the upcoming elections for 2014 here in a little bit. We've increased our association partnerships considerably. Most notably, we have become an associated society of the Geological Society of America. That's permitted us to have some support from GSA with respect to the GSA meeting, some meeting space. We are able to have an exhibition site and the exhibit hall, the booth that we've had the past couple of years, the cost of which is considerably smaller than having a corporate booth site, considered that we're an associated society. So this is going to be really, really good for us, and it has a lot of implications for the foundation that we're trying to establish as well. Also, since last December, we've got a new website, we've got several new logos, and a lot going on with social media. And we'll continue to talk about new things that's happened this year. It's been a busy year. We've had a really good year. So a couple of review points to make from GSA and AGU. At GSA, we had another technical session this year. It was a combined technical session, number 143. It was not only an oral session, it was a poster session as well. Very, very well attended. Again, we had the exhibit booth number 113. It was the collaborative booth between the IAGD and the International Union of Geological Sciences Commission on Geoscience Education Technology Transfer. In 2014 in Vancouver, we are already signed up for booth number 319. So I know you'll all be anxiously awaiting to get to our booth in Vancouver. At AGU this year, Gina Jalen and I taught the short course again, had a really great turnout, had a really good time. Some difficulties with the short course this year. It was a half-day workshop this time instead of a full day that we taught at GSA last year. We were quite a bit more rushed to get through some of the material. We had to cut a lot of the material out this time. We were a bit more rushed. But we had a great turnout. I think we had 14 participants at the workshop this time, added to the network. A lot of great perspective, and looking forward to working with those folks on into the future. At AGU, we also had a poster session. We had some really, really good posters there, and a lot of great discussion from people coming around to see those posters. All right, Mr. Brett Gilley, would you like to take over here?
I will. So we've been quite lucky in terms of membership. A lot of the visibility we've had in the last couple of years with workshops and the conferences we go to, the membership's been growing quite a lot. We now have more than 220 people, and so where that breaks down geographically, it's in 39 of the states in the U.S., plus the District of Columbia, and 12 countries around the world, several of which are here in the audience today. So you can see this map here, kind of a nice spread. Obviously, we'd like to spread a little bit further and maybe branch out a little more past North America, which seems to be what's been happening mostly as we develop so far, which isn't hugely surprising. I noticed, Chris, if you go back to that last one, no Australia. we got to work on that one. Anyway,
yeah. No South America too.
Anyway, if you go to that next slide again. So the states that still need some representation, if you know people or you have colleagues that work in any of these areas, it'd be useful to try to get some people there. I know I have a colleague in Idaho that I'm going to be twisting his arm. Chris was saying he's got somebody he's going to harass in Florida. You might look at this list and see if you know people there. And below that, those are the countries that are represented. So obviously we got about 190 more if we want to get full representation around the world. So think about the colleagues that you know and mention it to them. Free to sign up, no membership fees or dues, easy to sign up, and you just send them to this this web page below. Do you have anything to add to that, Chris, or no?
Nope, sounds good.
Okay, so if you
and the UK, we've got.
Yeah, thank you, Allison, for either getting up early or staying up late. I think it's staying up late at this point. So one of the key things is when you do change your information, it'd be great if you kept us updated, especially the email, so we can actually get a hold of you.
Yeah, speaking of Allison.
Speaking of this is great. We can harass her and she can't talk back.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to move to the next slide, then I'll talk about the election just briefly. So these are the positions this year that will be up for re-election. It doesn't mean that we have to replace them with new people. We're allowed to nominate the same people for it again. But if you see something that you're interested in being involved in, you might think about putting yourself forward and getting someone to nominate you. It might be exciting to have an actual election. That would be a new step for us, right? The key with this is the nominations, the call for nominations will go out with the June newsletter, and we'll have the vote just before the GSA in Vancouver next year. Yes, it is true that there are 3 Allisons. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next there, Chris?
You good? So I wanted to just to chime in with this really quickly.
The elections?
Yeah.
I nominate you.
Yeah, thanks. That's not what I was going to say. But nonetheless, so every year, so these positions are 2-year positions. Even though we were elected in January of this year, it'll essentially be a 2012 to 2014 term. So at the end of this, as of GSA, the 2012-2014 term ends. However, every year we will elect 2 new executive counselors. So right now there's 2 executive counselors that were elected for the 2012-2014 term. Those 2 individuals, their term will actually come to an end this year. I'm sorry. In 2014 in Vancouver. We elected 2 new executive counselors for this year in Denver, and their term will be 2013 to 2015. So every year we will have elections for executive counselors. And all of these position descriptions are provided in the bylaws. And if you don't happen to have that link, which was on a previous slide, you can simply go to the website, theiagd.org, and it's under the About section. You'll see bylaws, and you can go in there, and it's a linked PDF. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to get a hold of either Brett or I or any of the members on the executive committee.
Hey, Chris, there is one question.
Okay.
It's from Jim Bruner, and he asked, can we nominate ourselves for a different position?
Of course. Of course. Although Jim Bruner's not going to be allowed to have a different position because he's already a very important position right now. Just kidding, Jimmy B. Yes, everybody can nominate for whatever. All right. I'm going to jump in here with the communications. Like I said, we've had a really busy year. The website is new and improved, and we're constantly looking to improve the website. So anybody that has any ideas or suggestions for improving the website, please feel free to let us know. I am talking with our website guy to look at rolling out yet a new version of it for 2014. So any suggested updates to the website, please let us know. Keeping in mind that the website is ultimately a major resource of materials and contact information and advice and so on for people needing to make quick accommodations on the fly. So keep that in mind as we're looking at our website. How can we make the website more usable for students, for instructors, who are all trying to make the geosciences more accessible. We've also just launched, ahead of GSA this year, we just launched the IAGD Google Group, which is our way of maintaining a listserv for the organization. We actually have 222 people in the Google Group at this time, which is actually more than what we have listed on the website, and I'll explain the difference there. The membership on the website is, and the reason that we post the names and the titles and the locations on the website, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to the website under that About section again, and you'll see members. And then there's also a link for member locations that Brett was just showing us. That list of members, of network members, is our way of providing resources to the community. What we ultimately want to have happen is that to become more of a profile. So instructors or students or members of the community will be able to provide background information about themselves, what their experience is, what they are knowledgeable doing, and how they can help the network. So if somebody needs to make contact, they can go in and look at those profiles, and they can get a hold of somebody and ask them for help, ask them for assistance or advice. That's the difference. So the Google group, the listserv, which has everybody, which has all of the IAGD members listed in it, and a bunch of other people, is more of a way of reaching out to the community. So if you are in the Google group, great. If you're in the Google group and not listed on the IAGD website, we want to hear from you. I would like to list you if possible. I'm not going to twist your arm and make you do a whole bunch of stuff, but we'd like to list you as a resource. At that point, you become a resource for helping other people and sharing ideas. The Facebook page, I realize not everybody uses Facebook. Facebook we use to get messages out. We share ideas, or not necessarily ideas, but we share things that are happening in the community of geoscience, education, and disability studies, accessibility, and inclusion. Anything that's really, really important not only gets posted to Facebook, but it gets posted to the website and will be sent out to the Google group. So if you're on Facebook, or I'm sorry, so if you're not on Facebook, you're not missing out on anything important. Finally, we've just added, ahead of the AGI meeting, or AGU meeting, we just added a Twitter account. So if you're on Twitter, if you're doing the Twitter, you can follow us at AccessibleGeo. The brochures and cards that we give out at the GSA meeting, we've just updated those. So we'll have plenty of those for the years to come. They actually messed up my order, so not only did I get a fresh box of 1,000, I got another 1,000. So we've got plenty to give out. And then the newsletter will be coming out in January. So if you have any newsletter items, feel free to let us know. Okay. The IAGD Foundation, we are still in progress of establishing an IAGD Foundation. As you see here, some of the core objectives of the IAGD Foundation is to provide support for student research that enhances access and inclusion. So this could be students with disabilities or students without disabilities that are working on projects related to access and inclusion. We also want to be able to provide support for student travel to geoscience conferences and meetings. This would be students from the first bullet, that we would want them to get to the meetings. We want to make sure that they're plugged into the community. We want to help do that. Other options, and this is just a very brief list. This doesn't mean that this is what our primary focus is going to be on. This just means this is where our initial focus, our initial ideas are. Third bullet down, provide some seed funding for research focused on access and inclusion. And ultimately, we want to look at providing some faculty awards or instructor awards or even student awards for exemplary work that promotes access to the geosciences. As with any foundation, we're looking for individual and corporate support for this. We are working directly with the GSA Foundation. If you have any ideas, any suggestions, any questions, you can either contact me or you can contact Dr. Kathleen Nicole at the email provided. It's just foundation@theiagd.org. We want to hear from you. We really want the IAGD Foundation to take off. We've got some really great ideas. We've got some people that are really excited about this. It's a slow process just simply because we want to make sure we get it right. So look for more information about the foundation on the website. There is an actual link to the IAGD Foundation on the website. Student community, where we're at right now with the student community is that we are trying to promote opportunities for students to get more involved. And actually I want to take a minute here and let Jalen, and let Gina have a say and what she's got in mind for the student community. Gina?
Oh, you're going to make me talk for this. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I have in mind mostly is we just need to get the word out to the students and try and reduce the stigma a little bit so they're so hesitant to be open and communicative about what's going on. So if you have a geology club, a department listserv, some way of getting the word out to students, make sure that they hear about us. That's the first step. And the second thing, I think, is to get good examples of students with diverse abilities having some success up on the website out there for them to see, so that it's not just this negative, difficult thing. They have some good models, some good examples, and something that's affirmative. And the students.
Gina, can I interrupt for a sec?
Of course, Steve.
So people are saying they're having some trouble hearing you. If you could just go a little closer to the mic. Sorry.
How's that? Is it better? It's noisy here. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, I think that if we get some good models up and examples for them to see, they'll be a little less hesitant to join in the conversation. But the first step is just getting them to hear about us, because there's just a handful of us now.
Okay. Thank you, Gina.
Sure.
So just to reiterate on what Gina was providing there, we want to continue establishing the student community for a number of reasons. One, we realize that there are students who are interested in the geosciences. We realize that they might not be encouraged to pursue the geosciences because of obvious accessibility issues. But that shouldn't be. Those barriers are easily overcome, or with work are easily overcome. We want to be able to provide a community of support for students who are encouraged to pursue opportunities in the geosciences. These students might not have the same peer support at their institutions that the students who are not mobility impaired or not physically disabled would have. So therefore, we designed this student community to be a global community for these students to take part in, to have that peer support, to be able to get advice, ask questions, and have somebody that they can lean on. So any suggestions or any ideas for pursuing this student community or for enhancing the student community are always welcome. So if you have any ideas, let us know. Yes?
There was a question. Do you guys have a few slides or a presentation that you can provide to folks so that way they can actually disseminate that to their student groups and their clubs and stuff?
Of course.
You provide for them? Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I have a number of presentations that I could take from or put together specific information. If you have anything like that you want to do, I would be happy to put together a presentation for you or to provide you some slides. Just send me an email. You can email me at the address at the bottom. You can email me here at GSU. All of my contact information is on the website. Just let me know. You see a lot of emails coming out, just send an email and I can get anything you need to you.
Great. There was also another comment.
It might also be.
Oh, go ahead, Brett.
I was going to say it might also be useful to just have that posted online so people can just access it as well once you get it up, Chris.
Yeah. So the difference might be, Brett, is that some people might have different focus that might need some more specific information. I can provide. That's a good idea. We can put a generic PowerPoint presentation on the website for people to pull down from. But if there are other specifics that might not provide, then feel free to give me get a hold of me. What were you going to say, Heather?
There was another comment, and it was about increasing the number of students with physical diversity to apply for GSA's Onto the Future program, and that'll be in 2014. And so this program will provide funding for diverse students to attend their very first GSA annual meeting. So is there any way that we can incorporate this or kind of get the word out, collaborate with those two programs?
Yes, of course. So this year, GSA offered the On to the Future for the first time, I believe. And Gary, I'm sure that was you, Gary. Thanks for bringing that up. Where 125 students were brought to GSA for the first time. These are students of diversity. Unfortunately, out of that 125, we didn't see any students with apparent disabilities, which gives us a reason to push that out to our community. Another thing that's actually going to be happening, I was going to bring this up later, but this is a great time to mention it now. Brett and I, along with a few other folks, are offering at the GSA Vancouver meeting a completely accessible field trip. So we are going to be opening up the field trip for up to 15 students with disabilities, as well as 15 faculty members to work hand in hand with these students in the field. So stay tuned for information about that. This is going to be, we're hoping that this is going to be a pretty eye-opening experience. We will provide some details about it as it becomes more available. We have submitted the proposal for this field trip, so this is going to be another option for us to offer to the student community and even go into the high schools and say, here's an option for you. Let us help you get to Vancouver, participate in this field trip, and the promotion will be off and running. So again, stay tuned for more information on that. It's going to be a pretty awesome thing. Any other questions or comments about the student community? Okay. So another thing that I wanted to mention, and if any of you were actually at GSA for the talk, you'll remember that I brought this up. There are many opportunities for collaboration. I have a lot of project ideas. Several people in the IAGD have a lot of project ideas that need people to take off and run with it. Here's a short list that you can get started with just reviewing, but there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of work that needs to be done in the geosciences and earth science in general to promote access and accommodation, inclusion. We need to look at the K-12 classroom. We need a bottom-up perspective, and a lot of the students, especially in the States, the last time they see any content related to earth science is going to be in middle school, unfortunately. So by the time they're getting ready for high school or getting ready for college, earth science is pretty far in the back of their mind. So we need to increase the opportunities in K-12 for earth science instruction. Faculty instructional training, curriculum evaluation, accommodation in the classroom, labs, field. a guidebook of institutional resources. Cole is working on that. Is just trying to get that off the ground up in Ontario. So if anyone is interested in working on that, get a hold of us and we can put everybody in touch with that. Student and expert mentoring, pathways to graduate training in the workforce. There's all kinds of ideas. So if you have anyone, any students for that matter, or any faculty members that you know are looking for project ideas, please have them get a hold of us. We have a lot to do, and we need everybody to work together to get this stuff accomplished. Just a few announcements here before we wrap things up and get to some more questions. Like I said before, we're seeking items for the January newsletter. If anybody has any announcements to make, anything you would like to get out to the community, please let us know. We can put those in the newsletter. Any new resources that you have, any new research that you're doing, we'd like to get that stuff posted. And also, along that same lines, there's a lot of folks that are out there doing some really great stuff. You know, you see it when you go to the poster sessions. You see it when you go to the technical sessions. We want to be able to post that stuff, at least a description about the research that you're doing on the website. If you go to the IAGD website again, under the link that says research, if there's doing any research related to access and accommodation or inclusion in the geosciences, we want to be able to provide a quick tidbit of information about your research, about what you're doing. This becomes a very valuable resource. If you're creating any new curriculum or if you're establishing new ideas for accommodating students in your classroom, those become excellent resources. We want to promote those resources and promote you as an expert working on those resources. So please let us know about that stuff. We'll get it posted and we'll give you complete credit and have people contact you if they have questions. You become a valuable resource, and we want to be able to promote you and the work you're doing. Upcoming workshop at the Association for Science Teacher Education in San Antonio. I believe the workshop's on the 13th of January, so we'll have that going on if anybody will be in San Antonio for that meeting. Some continuing to add new IAGD partnerships, working on several of them right now. I won't mention what those are until it's in fact a done deal. But if you have any organizations that are interested in partnering with us just for the sake of promoting what we're doing, we'd like to have them. Under the About section on the website, I know I keep sending you all back to the website, but under the About section on the website, you'll see partnering organizations. You can get a full list of who all we've got working with us. It's really exciting to see the organizations recognizing the things we're doing and wanting to take part. Let's keep that going. IAGD community development, like I said about the website and the resources and just the overall aspect of the network, we want to keep improving that. We want to keep providing resources and opportunities and experience and expertise from our network to the community at large. So if you have any ideas, any suggestions, anything at all, let us know. We'd love to hear your input. And just to reiterate, the accessible field trip for GSA Vancouver will be happening. It's going to be an exciting, exciting time. And finally, the next formal meeting of the IAGD will be held in Vancouver, Sunday, October 19th. Time and location to be determined, obviously. Keep an eye out for that. And then we'll have another virtual meeting again in December of next year.
Just so you know, the weather's quite nice here today. A little overcast. -3.
That's Celsius, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all right. Sunday, October 19th, it'll be raining, so bring your raincoat. Isn't that right, Brett?
Guaranteed. 12 degrees rain. Yeah.
It's all right. You know what? You got to watch the temperature that you're saying. 12 degrees is about the same as what we have here in the States right now. It's just on the Fahrenheit scale.
You guys are going to have to learn how to transpose when you're up here. So.
All right. So, Heather, what kind of questions do we have?
There are
Anything outstanding?
there are a few comments
Okay.
from Wendy
Yep.
Williams. So if she likes, I will unmute her because she had a couple comments and whatnot.
Okay.
So let me see if I can find her. Wendy, okay, I'm going to unmute you now. You are unmuted. Do you have a microphone? Can you talk?
Hi, thank you. I can hear you. Actually, I made my comments as they were appropriate during the presentation, and I'm not in an environment where I can be unmuted at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, so thanks, guys.
Thanks, Wendy. So a couple comments that Wendy made just looking back through the chat box here. I see she's looking at talking about partnering with NAGT, which is great. We can definitely look into that. Apparent or not. So when I was making the comments about on to the future, I do believe that there were a few students that were in there that, and Gary can correct me if I'm wrong here. I think that there were some students with some learning disabilities, but I'm not quite sure. Nonetheless, of the 125, we can get a lot more participation in with students with apparent and not apparent disabilities. Continuing on into the comments a little bit. Okay, I think we might have. I think either
I have one more for you.
Have touched on all of that.
I have one more, Chris.
Go ahead.
She says that could be good, but I'm thinking of making it deliberately part of our courses on term lengths, and this is what I infuse in my own courses. For example, broader research to model teachers in training. So that was just another one of the comments.
Mm-hmm. Yep, a great idea.
I believe that was it. And she says she agrees about the apparent and non-apparent increase student awareness and participation.
Right. You know, and I think that can be a really a good snowball effect once we get other students that realize that the support is there for them. That I think that the awareness becomes less of an issue, that more people are aware of what we're trying to accomplish, more people are talking about it, and every year it seems like more and more awareness is happening. You go to the GSA meeting, and it was really pretty cool to see how many folks at the GSA meeting were wearing the IAGD stickers on their name tags. So I think the awareness is taking off. Every year it's more and more. We just need to get those folks talking to their students and talking to their colleagues about the mission, mission and vision statements of the IAGD and what we're trying to accomplish. So it's a slow process. Here we are at 5 years in. Certainly not where we want to be, but a lot better than where we were 5 years ago. And we just need to keep pushing forward with all that. All right. Any parting comments, Brett?
Not for me. It doesn't look like anyone has questions to add. So.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's anything that you come up with after this meeting, feel free to get a hold of me. Feel free to get a hold of anyone on the executive committee. You can also post comments or questions or suggestions or ideas to the IAGD Google group. Everybody has access to be able to do that. If you are unable to figure out how to do that, get a hold of me and I can let you know. But I really appreciate everybody taking the time out and joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday, and as always, keep promoting access and accommodation. Very grateful for what you all do.
Okay.
Everyone's gone. I dismissed them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I kicked them off.
Get out.
Yeah, well, sometimes people don't pay attention, and so, like, they don't actually realize that it's over, so I just, like, kick them out.
So Wendy had some good points. I wonder if, can we make it so that the chat is sort of available to all?
That's the thing. Like, I think when you are only a listener, you only have the question box, and that makes it so that someone in the audience randomly doesn't send a really inappropriate or offensive message to like 1,000 people, and I think that's why they limit it. So that's why I kind of go back and forth as a moderator. So if their questions come in the question box, I can either choose to answer them publicly or choose to answer them privately.
So I think maybe next time all of us should be organizers so we can all see all those things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So
I was afraid. Yeah, I was afraid of changing Chris's status in the middle of the presentation because I wasn't sure how that would like freak him out.
It would do the same thing. It would just reset things for him. He would go, "Whoa, what the?"
Yeah.
But next time. But yeah, no, it would be nice if we could somehow get them a group chat because we are a smaller group, and I mean,
definitely.
Allison Stokes would have been a real problem, I'm sure, but
not so much.
What I could have done is you guys can tell me next time the people you'd like to be a panelist, and then they can have a little bit more freedom or control.
We could maybe just make everybody a panelist.
Yeah, right.
And because the thing that's nice about this system is that we can mute people's mics if someone has a background problem.
Exactly. We could also potentially do a meeting next time instead of a webinar if you want it to be really intimate.
Yeah, so...
Is it a similar system?
Yeah, it's the same system. It's just instead of having this being broadcast to a whole bunch of people passively watching, everyone's a part of the meeting, so everyone's active.
Okay.
And you just share your screen.
Probably would be better.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure. Every time we do this, I'm just not sure of how many people we're going to get on board.
Yeah, and meetings also have a smaller limit, and people have more control. So if you don't know the people coming, then you need to be careful because you don't know what they're going to do. And I need to look at if it can be recorded.
But you could always stop them if there was a problem, right?
I could always kick them out like I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the limit? Do you know the numbers?
Say that again?
Do you know the number limit on the meeting room?
That's a good question. That I don't think I know off the top of my head.
Okay. Anyway, it still works well. I mean,
yeah.
It just makes it harder for them to interact with us.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's some good ideas that came out, Chris. We'll have to get the question file and sort of add a few things there.
Yeah, Wendy always usually has some pretty good ideas.
Gary and Allison had a couple too earlier on.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Heather, did you want to stop recording this?
Yeah.